The WNBA regular season is officially behind us, and now it's time for the real battles to begin. The postseason has arrived, and this year it feels different. Not only do we have a brand new best-of-7 finals format, but the balance of power in the league feels more unpredictable than ever. The Minnesota Lynx have looked unstoppable at times. Las Vegas is chasing dynasty status, New York wants to defend its crown, and the league's newest team, the Golden State Valkyries, has already punched a ticket to the dance in their debut season. The stage is set, the stakes are higher than ever, and over the next few weeks, the WNBA will write the final chapter of its most competitive season yet. Today, we're breaking down the full playoff picture. Who's in, how the format works, the matchups you need to know, and bold predictions for every round. Stick around, because my finals pick may not be who you think. Alright, so we've got 8 teams and 1 trophy. Let's start with the seeds. The number 1 seed, the Minnesota Lynx. They dominated the regular season with a 34-10 record, the best in the league by far. Napheesa Collier is playing at an MVP level, and the Lynx look like a machine. They defend, they rebound, and they play smart basketball. Minnesota enters these playoffs as the clear favorite. The number 2 seed, the Las Vegas Aces, the defending dynasty. A'ja Wilson is still the heartbeat of the league. Jackie Young and Kelsey Plum continue to deliver, and the Aces surged late in the season to finish 30-14. They might not have the best record, but no team wants to see Las Vegas in a playoff series. The number 3 seed, the Atlanta Dream. The Dream matched the Aces with a 30-14 record, but tiebreakers pushed them into the 3rd spot. Atlanta has been one of the most exciting teams this year. Fast-paced offense, deep guard play, and a home crowd that is completely bought in. They're not here just to participate. The number 4 seed, the Phoenix Mercury. At 27-17, Phoenix looks rejuvenated. Veterans have stepped up, their stars are healthy, and this team has the firepower to score with anyone. But the question is, can they defend well enough to survive a grinded-out playoff series? Next, the number 5 seed, the New York Liberty, also 27-17, but edged down a spot by tiebreakers. The defending champs aren't quite as dominant as last year, but they're still incredibly dangerous. Sabrina Ionescu and Breanna Stewart are proven playoff killers, and nobody should count them out. The number 6 seed, the Indiana Fever. The Fever finished 24-20, and while they don't have Caitlin Clark available due to injury, they still have a scrappy young roster ready to prove they belong. This team plays hard, they hustle, and they're building something for the future. The number 7 seed, the Seattle Storm. At 23-21, Seattle has been streaky all season, but Jewell Loyd has carried them through tough stretches. If they catch fire, they could absolutely make things difficult for a higher seed. And finally, the number 8 seed, the Golden State Valkyries. The expansion team. A record of 23-21 in their first ever season is remarkable. The Valkyries are young, athletic, and play with nothing to lose. They've already made history just by qualifying. Now they'll try to shock the world. Now, before we dive into matchups, let's clear up the format, because it matters this year more than ever. The WNBA Playoffs are split into 3 rounds. The first round, a best-of-3 series, played in a 1-1-1 format. That means the higher seed hosts Game 1, the lower seed hosts Game 2, and if needed, the higher seed gets Game 3 back at home. Then there is the semifinals, best-of-5, with a 2-2-1 format. Higher seed hosts the first 2 games, lower seed hosts the next 2, and if necessary, Game 5 goes back to the higher seed's home court. Then we have the finals. This is the big change. For the first time ever, the WNBA Finals are now a best-of-7 series, using the NBA-style 2-2-1-1-1 format. That gives us more basketball, more adjustments, and more drama. Why does this matter? Because in a best-of-3, upsets are very possible. One hot shooting night can swing everything. But in a best-of-7, that's where a true champion is defined. To kick things off, we have the number 1 seed, the Minnesota Lynx, versus the number 8 seed, the Golden State Valkyries. This is a David versus Goliath showdown. Minnesota is the league's most consistent team, while Golden State is the brand new kid on the block. The Lynx swept the Valkyries in the regular season, and Collier looks locked in. Still, the Valkyries play loose and fearless. Could they steal a game at home in front of their Bay Area fans? Maybe. But winning 2 of 3 against Minnesota feels almost impossible. My prediction, the Minnesota Lynx win in 2. Next, we have the number 2 seed, the Las Vegas Aces, versus the number 7 seed, the Seattle Storm. This one has history. Jewel Lloyd versus Aja Wilson, former champions squaring off. The Aces are battle-tested, and their late-season surge makes them dangerous. Seattle, though, is scrappy. If they can push the tempo and get hot from 3, they can stretch this series. My prediction, the Las Vegas Aces in 3. Right now, they're up 1-0, so we'll see if Seattle can steal a game. Now we start looking at the teams in the middle. We have the number 3 seed, the Atlanta Dream, going up against the number 6 seed, the Indiana Fever. This matchup is intriguing. Atlanta is young, athletic, and confident. Indiana is underpowered without Caitlin Clark, but still plays with pride. If the Fever can slow the pace and make it a half-court game, they have a chance. But Atlanta has too much offensive firepower. My prediction, the Atlanta Dream in 3. The Dream looked good in Game 1, so we'll see if the Fever can even the playing field. Finally, we have the number 4 seed, the Phoenix Mercury, versus the number 5 seed, the New York Liberty. This is the matchup of the round. 2 heavyweights colliding in the first series. New York, the defending champs, have the experience and the stars. Phoenix, though, is playing its best basketball at the right time. Expect high scoring, physical play, and a Game 3 showdown. My prediction, the New York Liberty in 3. That takes us to the semifinals. If these predictions hold true, the semifinals would look like this. We would have the number 1 seed, the Minnesota Lynx, versus the number 5 seed, the New York Liberty. Next, the number 2 seed, the Las Vegas Aces, versus the number 3 seed, the Atlanta Dream. If the Lynx and Liberty make it to the semifinals, it would be a highly anticipated rematch from last year. Minnesota has the better record, but New York has the experience of winning it all. Stewart and Ionescu will need to be at their best to overcome Minnesota's defense. This could go 5 games, and it will feel like a finals-level clash. My prediction, the Minnesota Lynx in 5. On the other side of the bracket, Las Vegas wants another championship, but Atlanta is the ultimate dark horse. If Ryan Howard gets rolling, Atlanta can absolutely surprise the Aces. Still, Vegas is deeper, more experienced, and better built for a 5-game war. My prediction, the Las Vegas Aces in 4. After the semis, that leaves us with the ultimate matchup, the Minnesota Lynx versus the Las Vegas Aces. The Lynx have the best record in the league. The Aces are the 2-time champions looking for dynasty status. Collier versus Wilson. Defense versus offense. History versus history. For the first time ever, we might see a WNBA Finals stretch to a possible 7 games. And that changes everything. Depth matters more. Bench rotations matter more. Home court advantage matters more. Minnesota has been the most consistent team all season, but the Las Vegas Aces won't be easy to defeat. Stick around to hear my bold prediction in just a minute. So, what else should we look out for in these playoffs? My biggest upset pick is the New York Liberty over Phoenix in the first round. I think Ryan Howard of Atlanta will shock a lot of people. If the Dream make a run, she'll be the reason. Then there's the MVP of the playoffs. I've got Napheesa Collier outperforming everyone. If Minnesota wins, it's hers. Finally, my sleeper storyline will be the Golden State Valkyries. If they steal a game in their first ever playoff series, that alone would be historic. Lastly, let's not forget X factors. Those will include injuries, fatigue, and in-game adjustments. With more games this year, depth will decide who survives. Coaches who manage rotations smartly could be the hidden difference between advancing or going home. So there you have it. The 2025 WNBA Playoffs are set to be the most exciting in league history. The new finals format, the rise of expansion teams, the clash of dynasties and underdogs. It's everything fans could hope for. So here's the question. Will Minnesota's dominance carry them to the title, or will Las Vegas secure its dynasty run? Can New York repeat? Could Atlanta shock everyone? Or will the Cinderella Valkyries make history? If you've stuck around, here's my prediction. The Minnesota Lynx will be your 2025 WNBA champions. Why? Because of one big reason. Nafisa Collier. Aja Wilson is at her peak, but the Minnesota Lynx look unstoppable. Their shooters are confident, and this team has been nothing short of dominant all season long. The Aces will push them, but the Lynx' firepower will be just too much. One thing's for sure, the next few weeks will define the future of the WNBA. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit like, drop your own finals prediction in the comments, and subscribe for more WNBA playoff coverage.